That was great. So we touched about, the bottom chakras. So for me, my observation is that because the bottom chakras, that has a lot to do with of our confidence in society and as a female and in the family. And I notice is that one of the biggest problem that I have noticed is that is the throat chakra. So basically is that at some point in their practice or whatever, at some point, a lot of people say that, oh my God, I'm going through this time period. I just feel I want to scream.
Yeah. Well, the throat chakra is actually a really interesting one because it can go either way when it's not in balance. So either you could be somebody who talks not at all, scared to talk, like very nervous about expressing themselves, or it can go the complete opposite direction. You could be somebody who's excessively talking, like talks over other people, just can't hold themselves back at all, can't listen, right? Mm-hmm. So when it is imbalanced, then you feel quite a bit of confidence in what you say, and you don't feel like you need to say more than what you actually mean, right? So it's a really interesting chakra because it's almost hard to know when it's healthy and when it's not healthy. But I would say that a sign that it is healthy is that you feel fully expressed in your day-to-day life or your career or anything at all, really. You don't feel nervous about speaking, and you also don't feel like, people aren't annoyed at you for taking up too much space.
Yes.
I would say, yeah, like you said, it has a lot to do with confidence. It has a lot to do, all the upper chakras are really dependent on the lower chakras being healthy in order for these to all be connected and flowing normally.
Mm-hmm. Yes. What I notice is that actually among females is that many did not notice of the problem with the throat chakra. And a lot of them, when they encounter problems, they thought, oh my God, it's just my throat is not feeling well. Or is that, but, immediately they associate it with it and they think that, oh, it's the air is not good, it's this and that. And nobody actually really paying attention. It's not, it's actually a lot of the time, what I at least notice is that it's because of the energetically of the throat, there's issues, whether it's that, they cannot fully express themselves, or is that they express themselves too much,
Yeah, and I would say it's more common for women in our society to be more closed off when they're not balanced or the energy isn't flowing properly. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think that it's a difficult chakra to approach from a healing perspective without energetic and deep intuitive work, mm-hmm. because this is not so malleable of a place of the body, right? So when we talk about yoga poses and things for other parts of the body, right? The heart, we can open our chest, and the lower chakras, we can open our hips, and we can, work with the spine and the back. However, with our neck, yes, there are yoga poses that will address this, like back bends, cobra pose, and camel pose, and things like that, anything that opens the neck. But at the same time, this is a really sensitive area. Mm-hmm. So here we're dealing a lot with energy.
Yes.
And when you can deeply work on yourself, inside of yourself, to address confidence issues, expression issues in your past and current day-to-day life, that's really when you're going to start healing anything to do with your throat chakra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think also in many ways, probably from the voice, like the sound of a person also, probably can feel a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say also with the throat chakra, the throat chakra and the solar plexus can kind of feel linked up because the solar plexus has a lot to do with self-confidence and confidence in expression too. Mm-hmm. So, You'll notice too with throat chakra that sometimes, like, I'm an artist, so I notice if my throat chakra is not in balance and I feel closed off, that's going to affect my expression creatively too, right? I won't feel like sharing my work. I won't feel, maybe I will feel off when I'm creating things. So it's an interesting, to see that and notice that is very interesting in itself.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And then of course is that directly actually in many ways reflect of our communication style and
Mhm.
how we communicate and whether we communicate, especially in a family and all of that and workplace too.
Yeah, I would say for sure, like, if you just think about, if you feel closed off, you feel scared to communicate, you're not going to bring up, like, let's say, any issues you have or something with people you need to talk to, right?
Mhm.
And on the other hand, if you're somebody who's talking too much, like, where's the room to listen to other people when they come to you? So it's a big effector of communication. And also, I think in general with communication, like, you have both the listening side and you have the expressing side, right? So there's like the receiving and also the giving. So when things are out of balance, there's a very, the scales go up and down.
Yes, yes. I think that actually is that just from the way of how the throat chakra is developed, in many ways it can tell, whether in their communication is healthy or not.
And
Yeah.
I think it's hard too because I think that with good communication, there are a lot of things that you need to be self-aware of, right? So you have projections and defensiveness. You have so many things that can be like hindrances to a healthy conversation, right? So when you're in conflict, right, all these things can come up. So if your throat chakra is out of balance or you feel, there's just so many things you can work through, and working through those things will then amount to you having a healthier energy flow within this realm of your body, which is all very interesting. There are so many ways to sort of delve into that kind of work.
Yes, yes. I think it kind of like this mutual effect, right? In
Mhm.
one way is that, when you feel more confident, you better communicating, then your throat chakra will be, energetically more healthy. On the other hand is that I also notice some of the people, energy healers, they work with people and actually is that, because of their work on the person, suddenly, that the person is feeling like, oh my God, around my throat, why am I feeling I want to scream, right? So
Yeah.
that's like, kind of more from the energetic side that made a difference, made an awareness to the person.
Yeah, I would say it's an interesting chakra because it's a little bit, you can use mental solutions to go at it, but at the same time, like you said, you can also use energetic. So you have a lot of different ways that you can approach it. Whereas with the lower half of the body, I feel like I'm more inclined to use bodily methods to approach it. Throat, you have a lot more malleability, and when you talk about heart, I would say more body, more body approach. And then, with your third eye and your crown chakra, that also becomes a little more mental, but much more energetically spirituality driven.
That's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.